Okay, here we go. I'll share my screen. We are recording, but thank you for joining me this morning. I am so excited to cleanse and so need it. And I actually have my smoothie sitting here in front of me. This time I'm doing the chocolate. I have not done chocolate. Um, and it's actually great. I really like it. So let's see here. Present. Let's kick off together. All right. Today is our first day of a 14-day cleanse, and it's like 10 in the morning. Hypothetically, we should wake up and have warm lemon water with maybe a little cayenne. And you can take that as far or as consistent as you want. A lot of people will say, I do love how it made me feel kicking off the day with that little tiny habit. Um, and often I did it this morning. I was working out on my front porch. And I used apple cider vinegar, a little bit of lemon, and a drop or so of stevia and some warm water. And I'm drinking. And I don't know if you ever know this trick, but vinegar in a bowl in your kitchen will attract like flies and gnats. The next thing you know, I realized they were in there. But you can use warm lemon water with cayenne. That'll really help with the gallbladder, kind of wake up the gallbladder for the day to help overall better digestion. Even it can stimulate motility for a nice bowel movement first thing. But it can also just be cleansing to the gut, especially if you go towards that apple cider vinegar route. Again, don't stress if there's mornings you miss it, but do give it a try. Try it on like an outfit and let us know how it feels. But we're kicking off today. Again, I'm going to go through some basic stuff to really kind of excite you. I went on a girls trip this weekend for 3 days, and they're like, I saw you're promoting this cleanse. Tell me about it. And one of the girls in the group, she did it last year, and she was like, I mean, people asked me if I got Botox. She's like, multiple people walked up to me and they were just like, what are you doing different? And really removing sugar, gluten, and dairy from the diet. They can be irritating to the gut to some, but it just gives an opportunity to make us reach for more whole, real food that's colorful, that just provides all of this nourishment and nutrients and so forth. So overall, my goal for you is just go into this program. Yes, review the information of kind of what we should be doing, but go in with the goal to have fun. Have fun with these 2 weeks and take one day at a time. So I know we just have a few of us and we just kicked off with this and I didn't have it recording. But I have three of us here and we talked about, have you done this program before and where are you located? And I'll keep an eye on in case anyone else sneaks in. But I have a group of about 19 for this group today, or this week, next 2 weeks. And I think half of the group has done it before. I think summer is a trickier time to find these 2 weeks to work well for people's schedules. If people are on vacation, it's probably they're not going to make it with us. But I do this seasonally, and it's very helpful seasoning for a number of reasons. It's helpful to kind of cleanse habits, of course, cleanse the body, but also just kind of reset mentally and so much more. So if you are repeating this cleanse, you're not alone. If it's your first time, I welcome you again and again. So my next one will be September 16th, September 16th, if you want to take a little mental note. And there's also being Prime Day. I should know this better. I think Prime Day starts tomorrow, or maybe it's today. But Designs for Health, where we all got this cleanse, they have a 25% off Tuesday and Wednesday this week. So I have a code in here for everyone joining. So make sure to utilize that, especially if you're like, I definitely am available for the September 16th cleanse. You can buy the cleanse 25% off. So that would probably be $50 savings or so. All right. Not to put the cart before the horse, let's talk about group chat goals. So I had a number of people joining me for this group reply in my Google survey of what their goals are for the program or even the season. I thought it'd be inspiring to share. Overall, people want to reset on health and summer habits. Summer can get social. And when things get social, we can lose routines, and routines help us feel safe, but also helps our body stay safe and optimizes that cortisol. Other goals is longevity, feel better physically and mentally. I have so many clients that have done this. I think I've done it, as I mentioned, 20 times or so. And it's amazing how the body feels better. But I have a number of people telling me like how great their mood is or how much less anxiety they feel and when eating this healthy and really optimizing wellness. So yes, this has a physical, biological influence, but it also has a great impact on mental health. And there's a slight caveat there, and I'll just take that tangent here as well. So it's a 14-day program, and I've done it so many times. And in my life, I've had seasonal amazing things and some harder things. I think it was 2 summers ago. My dad was in the Cleveland Clinic, so I was driving up there every 3 days, and he was really bad. He like gave us his goodbyes. It was really tough. I'm one of 4 kids, and it was a really hard summer. And I remember I did my cleanse just 2 months after that summer. And I had these foreign emotions I felt like spilling out of me. And I bring this up because in Chinese medicine, when you cleanse the liver, you cleanse sadness, depression, anger. And it was like my life was going so well. And all of a sudden I'm feeling these feelings. And I do notice a bump in like moodiness or edginess like 4 days into the program. So if you hold in emotions in any shape or form, it could be in the liver, and you might have that emotional little realm with this program, but it's cleansing. It's good. Just let it go, surrender to it, and give yourself grace if you're just feeling edgy. But towards the end, even by week 2, things smooth out in a number of ways. You might have more digestion, more going to the bathroom a lot more to kick off, but things will really optimize again by week 2. It just depends how much cleansing your body needs. So overall, people want to feel better physically and mentally, and I trust with confidence that you will get there, but there will be these interesting parts along the way. Another person wants to reset their gut, hoping to lose some weight. I find a lot of people who do my program, they might lose weight, and they definitely might lose weight if they typically eat gluten and they're sensitive to it. So they'll lose a lot of weight right away because they're losing inflammation. But I find most of my clients, maybe we've worked together before, maybe we've done this cleanse before, the weight loss comes right after the program. So the body, when there's product cleansing the body of toxins, it's not really for the body to say, hey, we're really safe right now, let's lose some fat. Usually it's a foreign experience for the body. So usually the weight loss comes after the program's over, when everything is a little rejuvenated, the oil change is there, and healthy habits proceed. Other goals: fall in love with simple ingredients and drop cravings. This is something I can completely relate to. I come up with weird combos during this cleanse because I'm like, okay, I really want, I don't know, I'm going to say a rice cake and Nutella or whatever it may be. I might see what's in my fridge or freezer and put together these food combinations that are just lovely. So really have fun with simple ingredients and spices, like spice up. Spices are so nourishing. And there's so many things that we can do with the smoothies, which I'll give you ideas. Another client wants to support her hormones and kidneys. Another one, reset and help start weight loss, especially midsection. And so often, and even on this girls trip, there's just a lot of girl conversation, hormone conversation, changing in the body and all this, that, and the other. And everyone's like, oh, I have to be very more aware of my calories and so forth. But it really comes down to supporting the liver first, because our liver metabolizes our estrogen and our progesterone. Our liver metabolizes our sex hormones. So if it's stress, we need to really eat for our hormones, not eat for our calories necessarily. So I always eat for hormone health. And that's in protecting blood sugar levels, but also like quality of food. The quality of food, being aware of the dirty dozen and pesticides or genetically modified food. From the biggest culprits are soy, corn, and almonds. So those are 3 things I strive to have organic. Overall. So let's see here. More goals within the group: reset my clean eating and set myself up for weight loss. There's a lot of weight loss goals. And again, this is the primer to get there. And even the thing to help you reset and get there faster. We need to support our filter systems so the body can lose fat. Reset, kickstart weight loss, improve blood sugars, reset and be intentional with fueling my body, and improve blood sugars. I do find I have a handful of people in this group, so I'm going to mention. I find I need to take my insulin a good 20 minutes before I have my smoothie, just to prevent any blood sugar spike. But overall, I notice my insulin becomes much more sensitive. I get much more insulin sensitive, so you might have a few more lower blood sugars. So just be present with your blood sugars and needs, and take one day at a time. Because as we know, I know like right now my blood sugars have been trending pretty high since I got home last night, but I'm really low on sleep. So insulin resistance can ebb and flow from day to day. And if you, again, have a lot of toxins removed from your body, you might not have that insulin sensitivity out of the gate. And that's for people without diabetes as well. But those of us with type 1, we're managing, a lot more with medication. And reach out to me at any time. All right, I tucked in a few testimonials here. Cleanse with Kelly, this was a female type 1 mom, and she said, I believed my increasing fatigue, joint pain, and decreased blood sugar control was something that happened when you're diabetic, even well controlled for 3 decades, working full-time and parenting 2 young kids. But this 14-day cleanse improved all my symptoms, including my insulin sensitivity, something I just noted. The resources Kelly provided gave me new ideas for nutrition and helped me see some of my lifestyle habits weren't helping me. If you're hesitant about joining, go ahead and join, and you guys all have. But I think sometimes just hearing it from someone else that's gone through this is helpful. I also asked in my survey, what do you guys want for this summer? And it kind of goes hand in hand with the goal. And we're almost halfway through summer. And I think it's just a great time to reflect. We're halfway through 2024. We are halfway through 2024, and we can change the way we remember this year with the next 6 months. And it can start with this program. I thought it was pretty cool. Someone said this summer they really wanted to stress and grow my business, and they're making sure they're real resilient and healthy to get there. And I think that's always the foundation of whatever we're working on. So I loved this. And again, I'm very curious how each of you notice any change in mental health or just ease and resilience and stress in the 14 days. Get back on the fitness wagon, better health, better blood sugar control, feel better physically, mentally, feel less worn out, and have fewer stomach issues. I do find that when we support our filters, the kidneys, gallbladder, and liver, that digestion does get better as well. Sorry, my pup is asking to get out of the room, so I'm gonna open my doors real quick. Shame on me for having her at my feet while presenting. Other goals, get back on track with clean eating. And I think this is a wonderful way. I was thinking socially, this is not a good week for me. I think I have 4 dinners out, but it can easily be done. It can easily be done and be on point with this cleanse and going out with friends and eating. I plan to order myself Pellegrino, some sparkling water, and not make a big deal about not drinking. Sometimes it can become a big deal. But I'll just know I'm doing a cleanse. I'm just doing a reset, and I'm giving myself the boundaries to remove alcohol from my diet for these 2 weeks. And then 2, I just tell the waiter, when I place my meal, can you help me ensure that the meal I choose is gluten-free and dairy-free? And then from there, it's quite simple. It's usually some great form of protein and lots of various inspiring ways to make vegetables. Yeah, so while I'm very social this week, I'm going to really hyper focus on getting my 2 smoothies in and my packets and really hydrate, take care of myself, but also go to each of these restaurants with a plan. And it can be done easily. And it kind of can help shape future socialization at dinners to be healthy and help us proceed on our health goals. So if you have some plans, don't worry about it. You can do it. Overall, work out consistently, get back to self-care, put my needs first, simplify, balance health with friends and career. So those are some goals that we've all mentioned for the summer, as well as this cleanse. And I thought it was just cool to bring those up to see how relatable we are to each other. Another testimonial is this cleanse is the push I needed to get back on the path to a healthier lifestyle. I'm not only making healthier food choices, but also lifestyle choices. I'm now sleeping better and I have energy from a past person as well. So for today's agenda, I've already covered quite a bit, but I just want to make sure I lay into the expectation, best practices of doing this. Again, there's various ways to tie our shoes, right? And there's various ways to take on this cleanse. And I want to make sure I kind of give you that bird's eye view. Smoothie powder options. We can actually turn this powder into a pancake. Stay tuned and answer questions. But every single time I do this cleanse, it's just a very strong form of self-care that I reflect on what do I need right now? What does my health need? And I pick up new little habits and new routines and new boundaries or new wording to navigate my way the best way possible. So although I've done it 20 times, we're exposed to a lot of things in our environment, our food system, and even just daily stress, that this cleanse is very beneficial seasonally. Even just being stressed, I err on that type A. Stress is always present. I just do my best to metabolize it. But when we stress, our detox pathways are not helping us survive. Our heart needs to beat, we need to breathe, but our detox pathways will shut off if our body senses fear or stress or threat. So it's so important that we have the workouts, but also downtime in our daily lives to support our body's systems overall. So a lot can happen in one day. So we are day one of 14, and I want you to take one day at a time. I want you to take one day at a time. And if you've never done this program before, I want you to come into today, like going in the, I'm trying to create a metaphor. I want you to come into the program, like going onto an on-ramp of getting on the highway. So you're going to come in slow with caution. And don't worry if you're not going the speed limit right away. You can take today really slow. You can welcome grace for any mistakes and use today to compare to tomorrow what you can do better. So always, even with type 1 diabetes, I'm always like, okay, how can I course correct? I ran a little high yesterday morning. How can I prevent that today? Or this, that, and the other. With the smoothies, some people will be like, Kelly, the smoothie tastes horrible. And I'll say, add ice. Make sure you're adding ice, but continue to tinker with the recipes you use because it can make all the difference. It can make all the difference. And I'll share some good ideas. Smoothie timing. I had a mother-daughter duo recently do the cleanse, and we regrouped, and the mother and daughter were like, we are so hungry. We are so hungry. And I found when if that happens, some people say, oh, I'm so full, I couldn't eat all my food. But we have these different hunger situations, and it's for a variety of reasons. It can be gut health, it could be habits, it could be sleep deprivation, it could be hormones, it can be a number of things. But if you're finding when you have a smoothie for your first meal and you're quite hungry, A, have that smoothie and maybe a side of scrambled eggs. Or B, have something that's just very protein forward for your breakfast, and then leave the smoothie for lunch and a snack or lunch and dinner. But where you place that smoothie can adjust your hunger levels. So keep that in mind if you notice that you are finding yourself really hungry after a morning smoothie. Course correct. I layered in the whole idea that maybe a few days in you suddenly feel emotional. And just know that the liver itself is being cleansed in Chinese medicine of emotions as well. Energy can soar on this program, but at first, the first few days, you might be fatigued. So move your body, have exercise plans that go with how you feel. The program materials might say, really decrease activity. And I don't necessarily think you need to. I just want you to be in tune with your needs and move your body in that way. I continue to plan to strength train and so forth this week as well. I've done this program so often, so I know what to expect. But I certainly will cancel if I feel myself just wiped out, because you want to listen to your body's needs and not follow a plan or guidelines that trump how you really feel. I had mentioned as well, your digestion should really enhance by the end of the program, but at first you might have a lot more, not like Dumb and Dumber style. You will be able to control your bowels, but you just might have more volume of bowel movements. And don't be surprised, because there's just a lot of waste that this program's helping pull out. And your skin, I mentioned a friend from the weekend, she was just like, wow, my skin was just so vibrant and bright. And I had another client, she's like, my kids came to town, and she's an empty nester, and she said they asked if I had Botox. And I think that's just so flattering and reflective of how healthy these 2 weeks can go. Another testimonial. So does someone have a question?
I did. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm just, when I change my diet and I still exercise, I tend to go low. So I obviously don't want to go the sugar route to get my sugars back up. So what is the best way to do that, to get my sugars back up?
Yeah, we'll do anything that you have to. If you
Okay.
see that number keep going down. But things like, and it's become my go-to, so everyone's really different, but I use dried dates,
Okay.
because they're so
So
sweet.
would Lara bars work? I have those.
Yep, yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
sometimes I find if I'm like 60 and I do a Lara bar, that's fine. But if I'm like below 60 in the 50s or 40s, I need
Not
straight
working.
up fruit alone without any
Okay.
fat and protein to slow down. Or just sip on a little bit of raw honey. Um,
Okay.
I do that a lot.
Okay.
Some raw honey, dates, or even juice
Okay. All
that's
right.
not sugar added and is like just organic OJ. Um,
Okay.
and to just if you're ramping up exercise with this program as well, maybe don't take that pre-bolus for the smoothies right away. Just know the first day, get to know what's going to happen with your blood sugars or so.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Tread slowly. I think this might be the last testimony I slipped in here, but this is someone who's done it. Oh gosh, I think she's done my program 10 times. She's actually not doing it this summer, but here nor there. She's been an enthusiastic participant of this cleanse. It's been a delightful and refreshing experience. The program is easy to follow, and each time I've completed it, I've noticed fantastic results, including weight loss, improved appetite regulation, diminished cravings. Moreover, it's positively impacted my outlook on making healthier choices, filling me with optimism. I highly recommend this. A busy schedules. I'm confident that once you've experienced its benefits, you'll find yourself coming back for more season after season. And this is an individual who just like works the crazy 80 hours a week. And she's like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can fit it into my busy life. But the pleasant thing we can seamlessly do this program with a busy agenda or social agenda, work agenda, travel agenda, if so be. But I wouldn't recommend doing this on vacation. Just enjoy vacation. But that's a big takeaway from this. Okay, so various ways we can use the protein powder. Because you might, especially day 13, you might be like, Kelly, if I have one more smoothie today, it's gonna be hard. Number one, simple ways you can have the smoothie, just ice and water. I highly recommend using a blender, not just putting the packets in here and ice and water and shaking it up. It just is not as good. If you have the option to put it in a bullet and blend it up, it'll taste a lot better. And then if you're using the smoothie as a meal replacement, I highly encourage adding frozen kale or spinach or frozen zucchini. That's what's in this chocolate one here. I did a handful of sliced zucchini that I froze. I threw a handful of that in, and then I threw in like a really small part of a banana. And then I did ice and water. And then on top, I did pumpkin seeds because I always like a little crunch to remind me I'm eating a meal. But add in produce, and if you want more creaminess, add in a non-dairy milk. And if you're using a non-dairy milk, my only encouragement is to ensure it's not just 85 ingredients with a lot of gums or preservatives. Milk, MYLK, is like cashew milk. They have all kinds of nut milks that are literally just cashew and water. But try to find those really pure non-dairy milks that are not preservative layered. And I'm thinking, Costco is one of my go-to stores. They really don't have a great non-dairy milk there. But Whole Foods does, Thrive Market does. And really just look at the ingredients. Just look at the ingredients and look for coconut and water or cashew and water or so forth. Another way you can use the protein powder is you can put it in a mason jar with like a third a cup of oats. I would encourage some chia seeds or flax seeds. And have it grab and go ready for the next day. You can eat it cold. Maybe if you go to the pool on the weekend and you have some cold oats with berries, it could be good, but it's also really lovely heated up. So usually I like it heated up, and I might sprinkle a little salt on top and a little teaspoon of butter. But it's really lovely that way, especially if you're sick of drinking a smoothie. It goes even further if we were doing this in a winter month. You can do the same thing, remove the oats and just make it into a chia pudding. It works well. And then the fourth item on here, or another grand idea, is to take one packet and 2 eggs and really stir that up into a pancake batter. Sometimes I need to add a little bit of water. It just depends. And stir it till it's consistency of a pancake, and then put it in a skillet and cook it like a pancake. I like that again as another grab and go idea. If I'm traveling or so forth, I might make that, package it up in foil and have it very portable and eat, almost tearing it off like it's a pita, if I need that quick option. Another idea is you can take both protein packets and put it into one smoothie. That'll make it more filling, of course. It'll make it more thicker, of course. And when you do, and if you do, put 2 packets in one smoothie, you won't need as much fruit or produce. Sometimes when I do this method, I only do the powders and ice and water, and it's plenty. It's plenty of thickness. Last concept or recommendation I have here, most of us want to lose weight. Most of us, if not all of us, are over the age 35, and our protein needs are higher. Having at least 30 grams of protein at a meal supports blood sugar, muscle mass, bone health, satiety. So if you use one packet, I actually meant to look. I think one packet, 17 grams of protein. So you'll want to do a scoop of collagen to get closer to that 30 grams of protein if you're doing it as a meal replacement. If you do both packets in one blender, you're good to go. You got your bases covered. But if you use one packet, also add in some collagen or another protein powder that's pure and clean that can help you get close to 30 grams of protein per meal. So that being said, I think on my next slide, that being said, I really like the whole body collagen by Designs for Health. And starting Tuesday and Wednesday of this week only, I think competing with Prime Day, they're giving 25% off at Designs for Health. You could also buy another cleanse kit for September if you went, but you can buy anything, but you'll get 25% off Tuesday and Wednesday this week only from Designs for Health with the code I have. And you can get a variety of things. So you can get your collagen, a cleanse, you can get whatever you might need, fish oil, and feel free to ask for recommendations, but I have that in the next slide. But smoothie add-ins, I always think of Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are high in selenium, something we don't often eat, can help with the thyroid. I mentioned I like something crunchy on top of my smoothie. It just makes it more exciting. So I'll use like a keto granola from Aldi or Costco, and it's just no grains and no sugar. So keto granola is usually monk fruit and seeds and nuts in some shape or form and spices. I do just like raw pumpkin seeds and raw sunflower seeds or cocoa nibs. And then for frozen vegetables, think beyond the kale and spinach. Surely start there because it's simple. But when cauliflower, even broccoli is frozen, you can't taste it in the smoothie. And to get yourself that extra fiber and nourishment and nutrients, feel free to add those things in. Not all of them. You'll make the smoothie taste crazy. Just one of them, rotate. And put things from the freezer in your smoothie because the colder the better. And also, you usually don't have to prep the broccoli and wash it and dry it and chop it. When you buy it frozen, it's ready to go. And it's just a great concept. Often I usually do the strawberry vanilla or the berry vanilla for this program. And when I have those berries in the powder, adding citrus like lime or lemon actually tastes really good. I don't think citrus added to chocolate would be that great. But I might add again a little sea salt to the top of my chocolate or Celtic salt, just to get more minerals and support my adrenals overall. So smoothie add-ons there. And then I'm going to give everyone a copy of this presentation and slide, but you can literally click on that link and then it's virtual 25. Virtual 25. I would fill up your cart today. So then tomorrow you can just purchase if you'd like to save. This is a pretty, I mean, I've never seen Designs for Health give this savings, so I highly recommend it. And then you could click this image too, and it'll pull right up this whole body unflavored collagen. This is the best collagen I have ever learned about. It is the purest, and it's been tested for heavy metals and has been known to have the lowest amount of, if any, heavy metals at all. So even like, I think of Vital Proteins was actually found to have high levels of arsenic in it. So I love this one. It's one I recommend. I use for myself, my children. So yeah, if you want to get a collagen to make your smoothie 30 grams of protein or more, enjoy that savings. Okay, common mistakes. People will go into the cleanse striving for perfection. Continue to have fun. I will say it is best to aim to get in your smoothies early on in the day because it's easy to be like, oh shoot, I didn't have my smoothie. And then I don't want people to like get out of bed before bed, like getting ready for bed and then run downstairs to eat a smoothie because they missed two. Don't do that. Just wait till the next day. But it's better to have the product up front so you actually get it in consistently. I talked about hunger. Hunger can vary depending what time of day you have the smoothies. Again, a handful of people, and sometimes myself too. If I have the smoothie first thing, I might find that my hunger throughout the day is bigger. But again, some people might say the opposite. So just be aware of your hunger and how to adjust things around and have different ways you consume the things and times for your day. If you happen to skip the day, if you're noticing you're fatigued or having some symptoms of detoxing, I would not level up the next day, like 3 proteins and 3 packets of pills. I would just say instead of 14 days, turn the program into 15 and just finish it the lingering days. Custom mistakes, common mistakes, isolation. I talked about how this week I have various dinners. Because I'm doing this cleanse doesn't mean I need to hide in my house. And you don't have to either. You can be very social with this program, and it can be even inspiring with others you're with on the food choices you make, avoiding sugar, gluten, and dairy. Break the rules. For example, I have 19 of you in my program, and some of you I know really rely on Greek yogurt, for example, to get enough protein in your diet. And you know you tolerate dairy in the Greek yogurt really well. This program says to reduce gluten, dairy, and sugar, but I would say continue to have that Greek yogurt if it helps ease this program of meeting your protein goals, but also just fulfilling the program of having the smoothie and the pills daily. And then I guess I put this in here a lot, but you might feel emotional around day 5, 4, 6, around there. All right. So every morning after I have my 2 packets, I put the next days right here. So literally I'm reminded, like, don't forget those. Like, all to do is smoothie. And then before you know it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I never took the pills today. So have them out in the open, somewhere obvious. That's usually my setup right there. Questions that I gathered from the survey, and just common questions overall. And then I want to make sure I give you gals time to speak up too. So do we need to 100% give up coffee? The program will say yes. My 20 group programs experience, I will say no, but I really want us all to just cut down whatever we do drink of caffeine. Caffeine can really help with phase 2 of liver detox, but for some people, it might impair it. So that's why it's recommended to reduce coffee. But I'll find again, it's just too much for some cleansers to give up coffee, to give up sugar, dairy, gluten, and then like figure out this way of eating. It just might be the edge that put people over. So for coffee, don't lose your mind, do the best you can, and just cut down on what you drink. And I usually say do the best you can to have no more than 1 cup. No more than 1 cup, not Starbucks venti, 1 cup. Overall. So that's coffee. Alcohol is the same. Do your best to eliminate it for 14 days. But if there's a going away party, you're never going to see this friend again, and you want to toast the champagne with her because you won't see her for who knows when. I don't know. But again, go in with like not such black and white. We don't need to be really stressed about this program. We need to have fun with it and do the best we can possible. So let's say you go to dinner with your husband, or you typically have 2 glasses of wine. I'd like you to have something far less, or remove it. Take that Pellegrino, get a sparkling water with a little bit of bitters, or whatnot. I would not advise getting a mocktail because then we're ingesting a lot of sugar overall. But same kind of thing on alcohol. With the meal plan, I sent out a meal plan to go with this program. Use that for inspiration, and really listen to your intuition and hunger on how much to eat and what to eat. But you can look at those recipes are so simple and basic and lovely, but don't feel like you have to follow exactly what that meal plan says. Supplements, you might be on a number of supplements beyond this cleanse. And usually I recommend not to table medication. Talk to your doctor about all medication. But to table most supplements with the exception of a probiotic and an exception of anything that helps you sleep at night. Let that be magnesium glycinate. Maybe it's best rest or insomnitol, a sleep vitamin blend at the night, but table everything else because you'll get to a point of supplement fatigue. You'll feel like you're taking pills for meals, and that's not what we want. It's just 14 days to table most of your other products. If you have very specific questions, please email me. But for the most part, I usually recommend tabling things except for probiotics and sleep supplements. Really, really hydrate. And intuitively, I'm like, man, I can't quench my thirst when I do this program. My body's talking to me, but make sure you're taking that step forward of hydrating really well. With workouts, you don't need to pause them. You don't have to stop them, but just be in tune with what feels good in your body. With Element, a lot of my clients, myself included, enjoy Element, this electrolyte powder, and that's something you can continue to have. Again, it's really important to flush your system in 14 days, and Element can certainly help with that. I'd mentioned this early on in our presentation. Insulin needs will fluctuate. So just take one day at a time. I don't see anything crazy, but just know there's change, there's adjustment. And I put supplements on here twice, so that's a typo. One question I didn't get into, interested in how to balance fat intake and not overdo it on healthy fats. So when people move to paleo eating, which is basically removing sugar, dairy, and gluten, although in this program, I still welcome organic rice, wild rice, organic gluten-free oats, intact grains, I think behave so differently than like processed grains, including Ezekiel. The Ezekiel will have all the gluten in it. But a lot of times when people move towards paleo, they'll suddenly start eating all the avocado and a lot higher fat cuts of meat, and so forth, or adding on more olive oil. It can be easy to overdo fat. So I would say keep fat like a condiment. Don't turn like nuts or the Greek yogurt or avocado into the main side dish. Continue to make sure it's just a condiment. And just be aware, how do you feel? How's your energy? How's your satiety? Our fat needs really fluctuate with our sex hormones. So later in the month, before someone might get their cycle, fat intake will increase because caloric intake increases and we become more insulin resistant right before we bleed. But just be aware of how much fat you're having. If you have, you know, eggs and or this might be better. Maybe you're having a smoothie. I wouldn't put a bunch of tablespoons of nut butter in there and then a bunch of seeds on top. That's a lot. I would pick one fat for the smoothie overall. So hopefully that helped kind of get your wheels turning and answer that question. But macros are very individualized, but you don't want to overdo it. That's right. So overall, as you cleanse over these next 14 days, we can all come together with this hashtag if you are on social media and don't feel like you have to do this. But if you want to connect with others or myself or the group, just post a picture of whatever you're making or enjoying and have the hashtag cleanse with Kelly and tag diabetic dietitian. I'll be sure to interact with you. So those are my 14 days. Those are the questions I got, the goals that we each individually had. But do you gals have any questions or thoughts as you kick off your first or second cleanse? No? Good. Elizabeth, do you have any?
So thank you. I had a question about supplements, but you answered that. So that was
Oh,
great.
good. And what's your go-to smoothie since you've done this so much? Do you have like the same recipe you tend to use?
I like to just, like you had said, to put in ice and just one of those veggies, the frozen veggies. I really liked the zucchini
Yeah.
and cauliflower. And I really just have stuck with water and some blueberries too. Those
Yeah.
Wyman's blueberries from Costco that I think
Yeah.
you said are a good option. So just some veggies and fruit with the collagen and the ice really does seem to help. So I
Yeah.
really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I tasted this one this morning. I still have some left. And I was like, ooh, that's good. So with the chocolate, I always try to play to the flavors. And I did banana to help bring out that creaminess, but I did the zucchini as well because it makes it fluffy. So if you never put frozen zucchini in a smoothie, hang with me. It almost like changes the texture like frozen yogurt. It's nice. So yeah, and then if I do the strawberry or the berry vanilla one, I'm usually having those berries or strawberries in it. But who doesn't like fruit and chocolate? So explore, find what you like, and get efficient with making it. My, I guess, closing tip is, so I'll make my smoothie in the blender and then I'll rinse it out and then I'll put a little dish soap in the blender. I'll put the lid back on it and then I blend it with the dish soap in there and it cleans it. It literally cleans it. So then, you know, I don't want to be in the kitchen cleaning my stuff all day, every day, twice a day. So a little blender tip there as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, ladies. Your comments and questions will surely help the others listening in. And don't be a stranger. Reach out with all the good, the bad, the greatness that happens. And I am excited for us.
Yay.
Thank you.
You,
You're
Rachel.
welcome.
Thank you, Kelly.
Bye.
Bye.